Hey, my name is Justin K. Miller, and I've been doing helium mining for a little over 2 months now. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I have 10 helium hotspots all over the Denver area, and I'm going to be showing you how much I currently make with these hotspots. I didn't want to shoot this video at first because, quite frankly, some of my hotspots are not working right now. Some of them just started working, and so my average that I'd show you would not be true as it would if all of my hotspots were working. But I came to realize that, well, on a regular basis, some of my hotspots are not working. If you have more than 4 hotspots, most likely somebody is going to have an internet problem somewhere or some other type of issue, and you're going to have to handle it. So, keeping that into consideration, let's take a look at what I'm making. So first of all, the first hotspot I'm going to show you is my house. This is Long Marmalade Shrimp, and it is located very close to the Front Range, meaning that I'm by the mountains. I'm blocked on one side, but I can see from my house all of downtown. I'm on a hill, and while I can see downtown, it does block me from seeing things that are more east of me. So, that being said, I get an average of 678 beacons from downtown, but because downtown is such a red zone or oversaturated area, I'm probably getting only on a transmit scale of 1 to 0, I'm probably getting something like a 0.08. So I'm not getting a lot of rewards per beacon, but I'm getting so many beacons that it's giving me, at least right now, an earning of 0.477 HNT, which, based off of what HNT is currently worth, is around $3.28 a day. I'm going to say that on a day, but again, days fluctuate. And if I look on a 7-day average, you can see that I've made $86.22 in a week. With a rolling average of, last week I was at 0.37, then 0.48, then 0.41, 0.47, 0.54, 0.36, and now this 0.48 where I am now. So that's one thing to think about. Things are always going to change on a regular basis. Hopefully the value of H&T will go up, but if I'm looking at this, $86.22 a week. If I look at my whole 30-day average right now, and keep in mind, there were days when, in the last 30 days, when I made nothing because the network was out or my internet was out, and I was then, once it came back up, I was resyncing. So I made 13.922 in the last 30 days. And keep in mind, at the end of October, I made 32 H&T, and now I'm making 13.922. I am very curious once POC V11 comes out how much lower it's going to get. But this is often why I've been saying to people that we're getting diminishing rewards. I am making less than half of what I was making in October, and this is just the beginning of December. Okay, let's look at one of my rental houses. Now, right now you're looking at me on the edge in a green zone looking at all red. Here's one of my rental houses. It is, again, in a green area, but it is hitting mostly a red zone of downtown. So, you can see I have less beacons, 375. But my rolling earnings are closer to 0.3. So it's 0.274, and it's $7.58 a day. If I were to look at that on a weekly basis, I'm on an average point here. I've gotten 0.27, a bad day when the internet was out, 0.03, then 0.42, 0.3, 0.43. So I would say on average this house probably makes 0.35. So more than it is doing today. But I can't explain why we're down. Generally speaking, I'd say we're pulling in $10 a day. So $10 a day, $300 a month. We'll see when I go look at 30 days. Like I said, there have been dead days, especially because internet outages or network outages. So right now, $237.93. Not the greatest. Okay, let's look at Clever Blonde Tadpole. Now, Clever Blonde Tadpole was completely out yesterday, just came back online recently, but again, it's also around that same number, 0.25, and it has 264 beacons. Let's see, Beautiful Quartz Nightingale was 375, yet, let's see, 0.274, and today we're doing 0.255. So I can't explain the numbers here. One thing I would say that might be causing this is this morning we had snow, but I'm looking at what's happening over a period of time, and I'm not seeing snow affecting anything. On an average, like I said, I was down yesterday, so 0.01 yesterday, but 0.26 today, 0.11 the day before that, 0.15 the day before that, 0.31. So these houses were making 0.5 just a month ago. Again, diminishing returns. But it's good to look at them and you can get an idea of how things are going to be for you. Now, this is, again, a house in the suburbs. Unfortunately, as you can see, because of the height or the altitude of where I am, these houses are higher up and they face Denver, so they're getting more hits Denver than they can get above the hill, as behind them, let's say the main road, right after the main road, there is a giant hill. So they generally don't get above that hill. My advice, as you can see from all of this, is don't face an area that's a red zone. I'm just going to keep calling it that because I would rather be in a green zone up here around Broomfield and Thornton and Eastlake. But most of my houses face a red zone. Still between, let's say, almost a 0.5 and 2.25s. I make about 1 H&T with these three houses. And both Beautiful Quartz Nightingale and Clever Blonde Tadpole are my rental houses. So I have a lot of control over these three houses. Now here are two houses that I pay to put my hotspot in. So this is one, Short Cloth Peacock. Now Short Cloth Peacock, the reason I pay is because look at the area. Oh my gosh. Yes, this house is above that hill that I talked about, and it is hitting green zones mostly, and so it makes more. On an average, I would say it gets more around 0.5. It's 0.421 today. But here's the kicker. For whatever reason, the internet has been going in and out at their house, and also because of whatever Xfinity did, whenever the hotspot is reset, meaning that there's an update or something else happens, it gets kicked off the internet. Unless I know what happens, it's not going to get back on the internet because I actually have to go there and manually put it back on the internet. I have not found a solution for this, but because of that, I have a lot of drops when things aren't working. When things are working, I get something like a 0.54. When things aren't, really, really bad, low H&T to 0. But as you can see, I'm getting 251 average beacons compared to something like Clever Blonde Tadpole, which was also down. But just because it is hitting the green areas, I'm making more money. Okay, another one. Dazzling Crimson Rabbit. Dazzling Crimson Rabbit is someone who contacted me from our Facebook group and offered to do an even split to put it in their house. They live up here, yes, in Fort Collins, and so far we have no witnesses, so I can't even show you where it hits. But it does pretty well. It's doing on a 6 day average here, and I just put it in last week. 3. So 3 a week, that's at least 12 a month. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Now, that being said, the person who had me put this in their house, they're getting new internet access, so we need to set that up. I'm not going to go into more detail about this, except as I look at the beacons, their beacons are great. Fort Collins, Fort Collins, Fort Collins, Fort Collins, Fort Collins, Fort Collins. And all of Fort Collins is nice green ones. So I'm very happy with this deal. We sort of agreed that I was going to pay off the hotspot first, so 20 HNT would go towards me, and then we'd split it. Now, is the split going to be great? Well, I mean, he gets 1.5, I get 1.5. At this point, it's fine with me as long as I can pay off the hotspot itself. Again, we're getting diminishing returns, and they're the one who has to manage the payments of their own internet. It might actually be better than what I'm doing with Short Cloth Peacock. I'm paying them $75 a month. But that being said, if we're looking at the rolling average, it doesn't quite pay itself off in a week anymore, does it? So that's the problem with paying people cash. Is it worth it? Especially if in a week it doesn't pay itself off. Something to think about. I personally like the idea of having somebody that is working with me. This person working with me, if there's a problem, they want to get their hotspot up and running as quickly as possible compared to everybody else who I'm the one rushing to get their internet working again. It's very tedious. And all that said, here is Quaint Wooden Beaver. Quaint Wooden Beaver has been offline for about 14 days now. It was doing great right in the beginning. I was getting over 0.5 HNT and some days, and now it's dead. And I have been working with Minted or Rack Wireless, and I have been working with Helium trying to get it up, and so far I can't get this up and running. Very frustrated. Nothing I can do right now. I'm at the point where I kind of want to just tell Minted, hey, give me a refund. I'm not even sure if they will give me a refund, or not even a refund. I just want a replacement. Give me a replacement. You do want to drop, on Monday. Can you just give me a replacement? Pull one of those. I mean, come on. It's broken. And it's been broken for 15 days now. Unless somebody can prove that they can fix it, shouldn't they give me a refund? Don't we have a year warranty on these? Okay, just some thoughts there. Anyway, this will happen to you at some point. You will have a point where the block will not move. My block is stuck. And anyway, I'm hoping that Helium can fix it, because apparently Minted can't. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. And now it's the weekend, so who knows if anybody's going to respond to me. That being said, here is Happy Raspberry Worm. Happy Raspberry Worm went offline for some unknown reason. I don't know why. And I probably didn't notice, because Happy Raspberry Worm over a 30-day period makes almost 2 HNT, almost $50. It's at a friend's house downtown. I just wanted to have a reference to how much money somebody downtown could really make. And as you can see, they don't make a lot. Downtown is just a bad place to be. Here's some lovely hot places with 22 hotspots in them. My friend is right here. I don't know how many hotspots are in that particular hex. But point being is, he's got a 8 dBi antenna. All my houses have 8 dBi antennas except my own, which has a 9 dBi directional antenna. And as you can see, I mean, admittedly, he has it out his window on the second floor, so it mainly points in one direction. I wish we could put it on the roof or something, but even then, what would I get? 4 HNT a month? I don't know. I eventually have to move it somewhere else. But this is what happens when you live in a red zone. It's just not worth it, in my opinion, and that's something you'll want to think about. Okay. Hot spot of the Dizzy Cornflower Beetle. I'm sorry, I'm reading up here, hotspot. I don't know what I'm thinking. Dizzy Cornflower Beetle. So as you can see, Dizzy Cornflower Beetle is in a green area. Hits a lot of green. Green is positive. Unfortunately, this is at my sister-in-law's house and she is moving. I'm going to talk to the landlord to see if I can keep the antenna up. But she's been having problems with, guess who? Xfinity. We had to get her a new router this morning. And so she's been down for a while. I believe she's connected and it's working. So I don't know why it says offline, but maybe it's because new IP address to connect to, all that kind of stuff. Last time I checked, she was about 100 off the blockchain. So we'll see if it comes on sooner than later. But she does great. I mean, on average, here at the beginning of 7 days ago, 0.67. Now, immediately it had gotten a little low, and I was a little surprised here. But generally speaking, she gets like 0.5 or something because, again, all of these green rewards. So rolling average this month, I mean, here she was down for a couple days. Again, internet outages, this will happen. So before she was doing it like 15 HNT a month, now more like 10 HNT. But we'll see. Especially we'll see with POC V11 coming out. I'm really worried how much that is going to knock my rewards down. Hopefully it means it'll go up, but we'll see. Okay, sorry, I keep seeing Hotspot up here in the top right, my bad. Shaggy Iris Possum. Shaggy Iris Possum is doing really well. It was going to be my outdoor test. So I'm going to admit that this one, I just brought it online to do some testing with a week or two ago. I was planning on using this with a solar panel to mount somewhere outside. Got really excited, but I just wanted to test it to see how rewards were in other areas of my house. And as you can see, it's 0.49. So this is interesting to me. This is a test outside in my front porch where this is my attic. So 0.48 is my attic and 0.49 is my front porch. Not much of a difference. I'm beginning to suspect that if you're by a window outdoors versus just outside with a clear view versus being in an attic, the difference is minute. This is why I tell people at the end of the day, just get an 8 dBi omnidirectional antenna, put it either in your attic or on your roof or by a window on the second or third floor, and that should be good enough because that's what I'm seeing so far. It's been great. Now, I'm going to make a caveat to that in the window thing. The problem is in the window is where I am, I don't have anything any other direction, so I might as well be in the window. If you are trying to get like Happy Raspberry Worm here as many directions as possible, you want to be in the attic or on the roof. So that's just the caveat there. Okay, last one and my most bothersome one. Proper gray porcupine. Now I started up proper gray porcupine just a couple days ago. It's here you can see I just started up a couple days ago. It's not doing that well. It's getting like 0.08, 0.14, 0.12, 0.07, 0.10. It only has 1,100 beacons with 54 witnesses. The reason why I say it's not doing very well is because this one is actually sitting right next to Shaggy Iris Possum. Again, these are my test devices. I was forced to assert them because support told me when I was asking to fix problems, you need to assert them or I can't test it. So I had to assert them. So yes, they are spoofed. My apologies, guys, but I'm learning here. These are my learning devices. And we'll see what POV11 does to these. That will be a very interesting experience too. My point being is 411 beacons, 1,100 beacons in a 7-day average. So at that same point, 0.49 is my HNT reward, and here it is 0.101. My point to you is that for whatever reason, I'm getting only a quarter of the earnings and it's in the same location. Now that being said, this is a rack wireless right here, and this is a synchro bit. So something is going on with Syncrobit. I've done some research. I've been talking to people. I understand Syncrobit is known for having issues. But I'm not sure if it's because people are not configuring it correctly. I've contacted their tech support to understand what configurations there should be, but I haven't heard back. And honestly, when I tried their Discord channel and talked to people, people were very standoffish, like they wanted to hide what they were doing so that they could only get the profit and you couldn't. Very bothersome. Actually, not a very friendly community. I was very put off by it. Put off by their support so far, and put off by their community. So, yeah, hopefully I'll figure it out on my own. And when I do and have better information for you, I'll definitely make a video on the best settings to put in for Syncrobit. But until then, yeah, I mean, look, again, 411 beacons, 0.491 rolling average, and then them 111 beacons, almost, I'm going to assume hopefully in a while I might get 0.11. So it's very, very similar. But anyway, frustrating. Okay, so at the end of all of this, I wanted to show you how much I am making on average. That brings me into Hotspotty, and as you can see, it is showing my rewards for the past 24 hours. Whoa, what just happened? See, this is what I hate about Hotspotty right now. Which is my number? I'm gonna bet it's the second, but I'm just gonna reload. Yeah, see, it's faking me out. Okay. So I have a pretty good transmit scale on average. My hotspots put together around 0.88, and but my witness rewards between them all 0.25. I would rather see all my witness rewards be more like that 0.88. If you are in a green zone, that is the best option for you. But that all being said, looking at these numbers, yeah, that's probably true. Making about 2.3 HNT a day on average. If I look at my numbers here, 2.21, 2.67, 2.05, 2.16, 2.29. Honestly, at these days, if I'm making above 2, I'm happy. I used to be trying to get 4, but it just doesn't seem like with diminishing rewards it's going to happen. Kind of bums me out, to be honest, because if we're looking at these numbers, what 2.27 really is, especially with how much H&T is right now, which it says here it's $27.73, then I'm doing a lot of work to make something around $60, $60 a day. Not that great. These numbers used to be a lot higher. It's very sad. So hey, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. My advice to you is, if you're going to get into helium hotspot mining, you need to maximize your situation. I honestly suggest, I think rack wireless miners are generally fine. Having trouble with one, but I'm hoping their support does the job, and I'm hoping that they honor their system and their warranties, whereby if I can't get this up and running, they will let me return it and get a replacement. That's what I'm hoping. I also say SenseCap. SenseCaps are great. SenseCap recently released a survey where they were asking about things you'd like to see in it. I'm going to do a video tomorrow about that. And Syncrobit, I don't know, honestly. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I would not recommend at this point that anybody gets a Syncrobit. Not from what I've seen. Okay, well, hey, thanks for watching. Always get an 8 dBi, omnidirectional, rack wireless antenna. Put it up as high as you can with the least amount of obstructions, preferably in the attic or on the roof or on the highest floor in a window. Thanks for watching, and happy mining.